We live in a world where emotions aren't strangers to us, but aren't acknowledged either. Tears, screams, wrath, glee, all left unspoken because of a silent taboo. A thunderous downpour of feelings that is not to be heard, but to be lived. To mute out the noise, I write as if there is no end. No end to my story, my words, my thoughts, my suffering. And just like cloudburst, everything comes pouring down to morph into carefully chosen words. I breathe those words to life, and they become poetry. When you realize that your poetry is woven out of pain, the realization doesn't go anywhere. It stays and lingers around till the agony makes you curl up, like the corners of an old book's yellow, crisping paper, like the fluttering dried leaves on an autumn road, waiting to get blown by their own hollowness. Like snow melting under the sunlight, you start fading away. It holds rule over you. Forget sense and rationality. Forget thinking coherently. Forget thinking at all. The hollowness plagues my poetry with scandals of grace upon the heavy angst that weighs down troubled minds into a plunge pool of darkness. There are too many problems without too many solutions, and too much of frustration and burdens and sadness. That's why humans find it hard to live, hard to share air with others. And you still tell me to believe that the world is a beautiful place? The epiphany that all lives might be just as complicated and unhappy as mine makes me shiver with indignance. This poem is a bit too bitter and angry, isn't it? Who'd think that a child would write it? I ask you, why would a child write it? My generation doesn't want hoverboards. It doesn't want new Starbucks flavors or fancy holidays or new trends. It doesn't want you to coat us with shimmering jewelry, plastic toys, TikTok videos, intoxicating beverages, and dangling promises. It needs its elders to be aware of the black, murky aura that scares rainbows into hiding, of the stomachs turning into modern art filled with voids of hunger, of beds turning into cages of desperation and despair, of young brains going so numb that any future seems like a distant possibility. It needs to know that the world is changing for good. I crave for sleep. I crave for empathy. I crave for solace. I crave for peace. I crave for love. Is that too much to ask for?